This is the How Is He podcast, a deep dive into Carlo soccer with Podge and Popa, proudly sponsored by Curra Sports. Let's kick it off.
Welcome to episode 42 of the How Is He podcast, joined as always by my co-host Paul Popa Dowling in this fantastic facility provided by Amplify Studios here in the heart of Carlow Town. This week we will look at the last round of results, upcoming fixtures, Podge versus Popa, and we are joined by the enemy. Sorry, we're joined by a guest, Kevin Regan from the Left Wing Back podcast. Kevin, how are you?
Flying the boys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're delighted to have you on. 2v1, it's a great opportunity. It's not often soccer gets the upper hand in the old game. We do have a few topics we want to discuss. I wouldn't call it a versus, but kind of just
what's the differences?
What's the differences in the same things? Because before we do, Papa, let's go through the results, right?
Talk to me.
We'll start. By the way, I want to mention the played final Saturday night down in St. Pat's.
Yeah.
Dowling versus Ballymurphy. I had a lad contact me to tell me that there was 300 plus at the game.
Jeepers.
Flares and everything at.
I seen the pictures of
meant to have been an unbelievable atmosphere.
Well, we was down at Ballymurphy and Dolman last year. It was in the Divisional Cup final.
Yeah.
And there was some crowd at it. It was a carnival atmosphere.
That's Fenerbahce stuff, like, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Flares,
yeah.
What day was that? 17th. So Friday 17th, Vale Wanderers versus Pats 2-1. That was in the ladies. Ballymurphy won, as I mentioned. Dolman 4 in the Shield final.
Dolman had 3 sent off.
3 sent off, yeah. But it's another trophy for the club, Pop.
Yeah, no,
that's
they're going well.
That 4 trophies in 4 years for them, is it?
Yeah,
or
I think so, yeah.
4? But I heard it was a fantastic atmosphere. Felix 5-0. I don't think it was 5-0. It was more, was it?
Up early, I think, as well.
He won 5-0 in Byrne.
Yeah, played really well, yeah.
Happy?
Hat-trick from Owen Byrne and a couple. Aaron Cunningham Burke played the youth game that afternoon and played a hat-trick. Took him off, and then he was obviously playing with us that evening, and it was tight enough game for the first 10 or 15 minutes, but we felt when the goal went in, if we could get the first goal, it'd open up, and that's what happened, and we were full deserved winners. Could have scored a few more, but delighted with the bounce back after the 2 late goals last week against Bagnallstown, and deserved winners on the day.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. Only as good as your next game.
No, you said it. In the under-18s, girls, Ballymurphy 3, Felix 0. Vale Wanderers 2, Nerney 1. I don't think we give that enough time. The fact there's a youth girls league in Carlow is massive.
No, it's brilliant, isn't it?
It's big, yeah. In the Division 2 league of the youths, Ballymurphy 1, Bagnallstown 1, Pat 6, Norwalk 1. In the Division 1 of the youths, Bagnallstown 1, Burn Celtic 1, Critty Yard 5, Joseph's 3, and Hanover Bet Felix 3-0. Many darn getting that.
You got to trade them. That was changed. That was on the fixture list up as far as Friday against Gorey. Do you remember we spoke about it last week?
Oh, yes.
And I don't know what happened on Friday. Something mixed up that Gorey couldn't travel or something, so they gave them a game against Felix. But I think that's
okay. Well,
they're all level on games now.
All right, I was going to say that.
Hanover 6 points clear, I think, in that youth league. They won the 7 games, I think.
Okay,
played 7, won 7.
Right, and is it a 6-team league, Pop?
I think it could be. Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure.
Take a look, says you.
7, yeah. Actually, more. They're gone halfway. 7 games they played. Yeah.
Okay. In the ladies on Sunday, Nerney 0, Parkville 5, Mill Celtic 5, New Park 0, Critty Yard 0, Ballymurphy 1. It's a big result for Ballymurphy, isn't it? Critty going well in that. In Division 2, Castle Rangers 2, Felix B 0, Parkville 6, Critty Yard B 2, Dublin Celtic 0, Norwalk B 3. In the Tully's Travel Division 1, Slaney 2, Pats B 1. In the Premier Sunday morning, Bagnallstown 1, Pats 0.
Well, talk to me.
Water.
Water.
Just didn't score.
Played well?
Yeah, played well, created chances, didn't score.
We had?
No.
Bagnallstown
created 2 chances, 1 good save from Jamie, and Owen Dowling scored the other one. Very good player on Dowling, to be fair. Put it away and 1-0 they held on.
Was there something like that?
Yeah, but the word I got is that Bagnallstown worked so hard. And
a few players back, right?
Yeah, a few lads back. Well, I don't know a few with Danny, but they were missing Keane. I don't think Keane played.
He was centre mid, actually, yeah.
Oh, was he
Keane
played?
played, yeah.
He played, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
First
you were
time
at
the ball. Yeah, I went out for a look, like, yeah. I tell you, boys, I don't know the last time, or maybe I was never at a Carlow Premier Division game. I went down to Pat's New Walk, and I was so surprised. I wouldn't mind starting there, that's sorry, before I go to this.
Yeah.
But, like, the standard and the pace of that game frightened me now. I had a county hurler standing beside me, and we were like, "Jeez, this is ferocious stuff."
Yeah.
And we thought maybe it might taper off as you go into the latter stages. Not relentless the whole way, standard pace, everything.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing stuff, really.
You can
And-
have any squad you want, Kevin. If you're not fit, you'll win nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way soccer has gone now.
That was top stuff. Like, so I suppose I said, right, let's go out there on Sunday then and see what the crack is with a not so nice pitch, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sorry, by the sound. Look, against a lot of games, it's not
Yeah.
their fault. I know the crack and of Astro coming and stuff like that, but again, like fitness levels, physicality. I can't sit down and watch a game on the television, lads. I'm just not able to do it anymore. It just drives me mad.
I'm in that space as well.
Yeah, it drives me mad.
I've said that,
many
yeah.
weeks,
Yeah, but those two games I was at now, I thoroughly enjoyed them, I have to say, for different reasons, obviously. Like, you know, an Astro game and a standard pitch game is going to be different. But effort, physicality, everything, really enjoyable.
Good,
90 minutes flew by.
Yeah.
And the other day was a mad one, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Pats had 3 or 4 really good chances, I think, before Bindlestown got the goal, and it was a cracker from on Dowling. Pinged it, like, broke out to him on the edge of the box. Jamie hadn't a chance of getting to win the goal. Super goal. And, like, Andrew Kane at the back was fantastic for Bindlestown.
He's an excellent player,
Such a good reader of the
We've
game.
said it many times, haven't he?
Yeah, I've said it as well.
And like, I suppose, look, they're two different games, obviously, but he's a really good attacking player from a GA point of view in terms of hurling and football. But, like, it's where he was playing defence in every sport.
Where is he playing the football?
Well, he hasn't played football for a long time, I think, because like, he
forward
bad
in
knee
hurling, is
injuries.
he?
Like,
He had a tough time as a young lad.
really tough. Like, but he plays in near the goal, like in hurling and that, and he's really good, like really good attacker.
Lovely fella.
But
Gentleman.
like, I thought he was the winner of that game the other day, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I
steady.
was told that as well. But look, I suppose in the grand scheme of things for us, and our remit and what we want to do, it doesn't change anything. Like, we still have to go and win all the rest of our games. If we go win all the rest of our games, we win the league. No, it's easier said than done.
Takes you have to beat New York now rather than
a draw. Absolutely.
A draw is no good
But
look,
there's a long way to go, lads. New York have a few sticky ones. You know, we have a few more sticky ones. We have to go to TE, we have to go to Collection, we have to go to Crit Yard. Like, do you know, it's super competitive. Like, do you know what I mean?
Great to see though.
Yeah, I seen a tweet. I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see a tweet?
Seen the tweet, yeah.
What do you think of that?
That was absolute horseshit.
What the fuck?
That's the truth now.
It was nuts.
You hate all that keyboard warrior stuff.
It was nuts, wasn't it?
What, the Real Madrid of Carlo?
No, the
What was it? The
Man
City of Carlo or something.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Halfway through a season.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a strange one, but I don't
know who they're talking about or who he's talking about, but I have no interest in that crack. But it's every player, every team goes out, looks after different players and goes try and poach players from different clubs. So how lads can make a comment like that is beyond me.
Yeah.
So look, it is what it is.
For sure. Kilree won, Crit Yard 2. Big win for Crit Yard there.
1-0 down, weren't they?
I was talking to Craig, but he said that they played really well. Salter played.
Scored,
meant to have been excellent. And Jamie played and scored. I wouldn't like to come up against them now every Sunday.
Good, yeah.
Salter and Jamie. So they give you plenty of headaches anyway.
They're physical anyway.
Yeah. And Newark at Parkville 2-0. Dean Kelly doing Dean Kelly things with an
brilliant,
absolute
Seeing I didn't see
peach of a free. I looked at it twice.
King Cleary scored the first one, but
Didn't
his
see
technique
things.
with the ball.
Yeah, but I looked at it and I was like, keeper. So the second time I looked at it, I was like, no, forget about it.
No, it's
forget about it.
it's different
It's
grade.
Podge stamp.
It's up and dipping and pace the whole lot.
Yeah, 2 keepers wouldn't have saved it.
It's brilliant. It's just look at his class and that's it.
No, you said it. Carlo Cup came out. Brian contacted me on that as I kind of called out that he would, and he said that it's run the same way as the FA Cups. The lower divisions play each other first before they go into the Premier, come in the third round.
Are we all in it now? Next round?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. Stoss was 1, Wolf Hill 6. Wolf Hill are motoring, aren't they?
Flying.
Hanover Harps B.
It was up bad.
2, Collection 0.
Yeah.
Pat Doyle goes again.
Jamie Kenny scored a 2 of them. Jamie, remember he was that great
He's a great player, sure, yeah.
Super, yeah.
You don't get him on the first team, no.
He's just happy tipping away with the B team until the Gaelic comes around. He's more interested in that, but we'll have a chat with him next year.
Palman.
There's Mark Fitz plays centre half.
Yeah, very
David
good.
Kenny jumped in the goal.
Yeah.
I believe, I haven't seen him playing yet, but I believe he's a dog.
David Kenny, the bald head David Kenny. We had him at Pat's, great soccer player.
He played in the goal because whoever, I can't get the goalkeeper's name. I haven't seen the B team play. That was the first time I went to see them.
He's decent in the middle of the park.
The goalkeeper basically couldn't go up, and I was in the group, and the message came through, and Money is jumping the goal, and David Kenny, I'll jump in. Anybody got gloves, lads? So someone brought up gloves, and he was come out, claimed everything, punched when he had to punch.
Go ahead.
Come out, help the defenders out brilliantly.
Deadly.
Yeah, very
good.
good.
Good soccer player.
Worth aware.
Yeah, worth aware playing as well.
Come on, it's a sub at half time, yeah.
Yeah,
Galacticos.
Pat Globetrotters. Bagnallstown B 0, Ballymurphy B 2, and Burn Celtic 4, Nurney Villa 1. That is the results over the weekend. So, as I mentioned, Kevin, what we're looking to do, right, is we are looking just to have discussion on different topics. So, will you stop, will you please?
So what do you want me to do?
Can you cough outside?
Cough in your mouth. Go ahead.
I'd never let you do that ever again. So, two things that we want to speak about, right? So, obviously it's a comparison thing, right? So I have competition, trend development, popularity and participation, and then future trends. And we'll talk a little bit about how the calendar year is going to affect your side of the house, right? So if we start a competition, right? So where I'm coming from is the old one where people say that I'm training GAA since mid-February and my first championship game is the end of June. Right, compared to I'm playing Premier for Hanover Harps and we have a big game every Sunday.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, therein lies the problem straight away. It's the biggest bugbear that I would have is the ratio of training sessions to games and meaningful games at that. Like, I mean, you know, I think Bernard Mullen said it on our podcast that you'd have as much games played in a month in the Carlow Soccer League as you might in a full championship in Carlow, which is crazy. Like, I believe the league this year, which, if I'm honest, has been a joke in GA terms for a long, long time in Carlow.
How does that run, Kevin?
Well, they changed it last year. They took out relegation and promotion out of the league until last year. So basically, if you won Division 3, you didn't go into Division 2 unless you won the Junior A Championship, which is the third championship tier.
Okay.
And I just thought that
you have to win the league and the championship to get promoted.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the way it was. Now, they moved it back. So Loughlin Bridge, my own club, won Division 3 last year. They're going to be playing Division 2 against intermediate teams this year, which, no, that's
a step up you want to make, though, isn't it? Yeah.
And it should never have went back the way it was, because when Kilbride were in their pomp, they were in that position as a result of being able to get promoted in the league. They were playing Division 1 regularly, competing with Éire Óg, and then got promoted in the championship. And, you know, that stood them in good stead. Like, so,
right.
Where it is at the minute, well, look, in many respects, I'd say it'd be fair to say, a solid observation to say that intermediate and junior A treated a little bit more seriously than senior. And I think a lot of the reason for that is that, you know, a lot of guys have county players, obviously, as we know, which is another kind of separate thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether there's a reluctance or what it is, or an ignorance towards the league, but it's not taken anywhere near as seriously as it possibly should. Now, when you consider you could win a Carlow Senior Football Championship by playing 6 games, 3 group games, you can actually win it with 5 games.
5.
You win your 3
if you
group
top
games.
the group, you go into a semi-final, not you?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you win the final, that's 5. If you go to quarter-final, it was 6 games. Now, like, that's not a whole lot of meaningful games. And for many clubs, I suppose the honest assessment of it is that's maybe the only 6 games, the only 6 competitive games that they might have their county players for.
Yeah.
Right. Now, maybe I'm going into a different problem or point with this.
No, it's a good point, yeah. I think it adds to it. Definitely,
like,
yeah.
You take, just say, for example, you're a bluesman, right?
Yeah.
You're coaching someone there from the time they're under 6, and they're lucky enough to get to a standard where they can play senior county football, but then you only get them 6 times during the year. That's a big 2 fingers to the club.
That's not enough, isn't it?
And I am not holding any blame on players for this particular problem either, but it's not really the way it should be. Like,
it's the pressure putting them as well, look, Kevin.
It's the pressure putting them. Now look come here, there's different management gone in with Carlow this year. Obviously Shane Curran has gone in, but there was a good bit of hostility around the fact that players could not play with their clubs. There was a big gap last year between the league and the championship, or possibly the championship into the Tailteann Cup. And, you know, guys, basically, some of them said 2 fingers, right? I'm going off to play anyway.
Yeah.
But there's games not, like, look at the Kilkenny model. Like, they're seeing it when they're at their pomp. Like, they're Flow playing club senior championship.
Yeah.
Like, is it not beneficially playing?
Well, look at the secret sauce there is that they have the league intertwined with their championship. So your championship seeding, or where you're going to play your first round, or if you get a bye into the second round, depends on your position in the league.
In the league, yeah.
So if you get to, there's 2 groups of 6 there, say, for example. So the top 2 will play a league final, second will play a shield final, and they'll bypass the first round of championship by doing that. And everyone else then down on 3 versus 6 and so on and so forth. And that's the way the whole thing works. Now, we all know the neglect for football down there as well.
There's a little pressure in the league game, isn't there?
To
finish as high as you can.
Yeah, there's
it's
jeopardy.
not just a league. It's not just a league game. It's no matter where you finish in the league.
It's your setup. It's your setup.
Like, up to recently, and I don't have the exact stats on it last year, but Division 1 games in Carlow, Football League games, there was walkovers in them. And
Yeah.
clubs might have 2 or 3 teams. There should never be a walkover in Division 1 in particular. But that just goes to show you, I suppose, maybe like, I'm not having a pop of Carlo J for this either, but when you only have X amount of games, really from a J point of view, you should take them seriously.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's a big problem there. And look, you could go on for ages about that particular issue, lads, but I think it's the amount of training sessions personally that lads are asked to do. And I don't hold blame on modern coaches for this as such. This has come in, lads have driven standards at county level. These guys are getting paid now. The managers are at county level. We all know that. And club senior managers are getting paid too.
Yeah,
And well
yeah,
paid.
Have been for some time,
Yeah.
very handsomely.
Yeah.
What happens there is you have the likes of Kilmacud and Nafina, where they have buckets of cash,
Yeah.
and they're training 3 or 4 times a week. Everyone's well looked after, and you have someone down here then that hasn't half the money trying to compete with that. That's where
Yeah.
they've set the bar. And what are you missing? You're missing the money. You're missing the fact that the boys have the Beacon sponsoring them, or Mater Day,
Yeah.
and you have Ryan Transport down in St Mullins, who are a very good company as well,
Yeah.
but they're not
Yeah.
the Beacon. They're not
No,
Dennis
no,
O'Ryan.
no.
But is that, I look at that and I think that filters down through the GA massively, the trends.
Yeah.
I think it goes in, like, say, for instance, the law block,
Mm.
right? Say, for instance, the player GPS. I think it's a trends thing. And I actually genuinely think if you take a top GA club in Carlow and ask them, why are you doing this? Their answer is because I've seen
Everyone else is doing
because
it
I've seen
properly.
Nafina do it, as you said, or I've
Yeah.
seen Kilmacud do it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I think the county team,
They don't have their own identities, are they?
correct. They're kind of, it's more of a copy rather than an original, or there's nothing bespoke about it. Do you know what I mean? And you look, I'd be Greg Cullen, I'd be Leash. I remember following Leash and Miko was there. There was no one playing football like Leash. It was their own style,
Yeah.
their own identity, and thankfully I've seen him win Leinster, right? And it was brilliant. But the fall down for me was when they changed. It's when they started to bring in the drop off, the low block, do you know what I mean? The playing left and right, the keeper coming in as a third man, whatever. And I'm like, no, and I think that's the one thing that in the competition space, it's where the soccer trumps the GAA, is every team nearly has an identity.
Yeah.
You know, it's their own kind of style, their own
Yeah,
system.
you look at a soccer match and your first 5 minutes, you're like, I have to suss these out here, what formation
But
they're
even
playing or
within
whatever, you know.
tradition, Pop. Say
Yeah.
for instance, you mentioned to me Parkville. I think straight away, get it down, play.
Yeah.
If you said to me, this is no disrespect, if you said to me Kilree, difficult. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? You'd say in a walk, wingers are inside, fullbacks are overlapping. If you don't sort out, you're in trouble. That's their identity. That's their stamp. Do you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of.
Look, I suppose in around a certain time when Carlow had a bit of success, you know, at the end of the last decade or whatever, there was a very clear, as you say, trend, and that was to pack out defences. And look, not every club does that in Carlow. It's unfair to say that, right? But there is a large amount that probably still do pack out, and the balance might be a little bit off. And it does come back to the trend thing. But in terms of the ratio, that's lads trying to justify their own existence that are getting £100 a night, or maybe more than £100 a night.
Absolutely.
So they're training. Obviously, it makes sense for them to train teams 3 or 4 nights a week, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
The more
And
you,
what
the more you
happens
turn up,
is-
the more you get.
What happens is you might have someone that's taking their own club is not taking a penny, but like if
Go side
just
of
say for example, give us a random club, any club in Carlow, right? If they're trained 3 or 4 nights a week, well, we're going to have to do that. But the difference is one lad is getting whatever amount, and this lad's doing it for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the GA have a huge issue, is that particular part. If that was looked into a little bit more, you'd weed out the rough fairly quickly.
Yeah. What do you think the ratio is from training to games then? Do you have an idea?
I think if you were to do a comparative study on the amount of games, well, just take games, take soccer games versus, I think it's 3 to 1 in terms of you'd have 3 soccer games played in the time you might have 1 Gaelic game played.
But
training wise,
yeah.
training wise, you're looking at 3 or 4 times a week possibly. There could be
Would you?
three sessions. It could be a gym session, 2 field sessions, and maybe a match. Like honestly, that's the way it is.
You're minimum 4 times a week, I'd say.
So you're 4 to
Yeah.
1.
This is clubs now, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? 3/4 we'll say, and if you have a match, maybe there could be one of those replaced, say, for example.
Yeah.
But that's what you're looking at. Now, I don't know a whole lot about soccer, lads, but I wouldn't think Hanover are training 3 nights a week.
No.
I wouldn't think Pats are training 3 nights a week.
No.
Are they? Genuinely, like, I wouldn't know.
Kevin is two games, and then or 2 training sessions and then a game on the weekend.
There you are.
And if you have a midweek game and a game on a Sunday, you might fit
But
a ball session.
where the comparison lies is here, right? So we go back early July. We're pre-season for 6 weeks, right? Maybe 1 game in the 6 weeks. That's where you're getting your base. You're getting yourself as right as you can. Season kicks off then. You're training for your next game. So it's not a case of we're bringing lads down to flog them. We're not bringing lads to a gym.
Yeah.
We're bringing lads down and we're doing something specific to the next game we're going to play. I can't see how a GA team can do that when their biggest game is in the championship and it's so far down the line.
Yeah.
You know, I can't see how a GA. So then the question
you're
is,
speaking to them in April, and their first championship match is the first weekend in August.
But then it's the frightening thing, Popa, that we see all the time. Are they being overcoached? Is there an element to that in it?
Well, look, you hear stories of lads being kept for maybe 2 hours and 2.5 hours and stuff. And look, lads, I've done a bit of video stuff with teams and all before, like 10, 15 minutes max. Lads start falling asleep. You nearly fall asleep yourself. Like, you know what I mean? You're just born into tears. Yeah. So, I do think there's an element of being overcoached, and I think it's nearly taken too seriously. The fun element is largely gone out of it. Like, Jesus, I know we all want to win and we're competitive and stuff like that. We have to enjoy the damn thing. And I think that's why, from a GA perspective, it sounds like I'm heavily critical of it. I love the GA and I don't want it to be this way. But
everybody knows that here, though, Kevin.
You'd have concerns about the fact that there's so many lads dropping off, and you actually have to have a bit of admiration for guys that are calling the bluff and just saying, "No, it's not for me." Like, it's not the only show in town.
Someone told me there was a session at the start of this season with the county, and they went in at 10 o'clock in Fenagh. 2 to walk out the training session.
10 o'clock in the morning.
Just over 4 hours. Like that's not right.
I don't know
for
about
a training
that
session.
Now, like in reality, lads, right? Inter-county Gaelic football is professional in all but name.
100%.
Not in the way you'd want it to be in terms of the players getting looked after properly. Now, they are in terms of their expenses, but I mean, they nearly deserve a wage out of it. I think there's an apartheid. Like, I mean, there's a crew that are giving them the instruction, getting a heap of money, and the lads get their expenses, and that's it, their meals, and they say this, that, and the other, aren't getting enough, not getting half enough. Without players, you don't have these games. Yeah. Do you know, this is the reality of it.
That goes on to my next one, right? Training development. Like, do you think that if you look at the county infrastructure, right, and this isn't having to go at Carlow or any other county, do you think they're over worrying about the stupid things and neglecting the fact that it's player driven?
Yeah.
So with that formula, you're never going to develop.
No, you're not. Like, and another point, I suppose, is the amount of patchwork that goes in at adult level. Like, I'm sure that when it comes to it, you're trying to do the basic skills to an exceptionally high standard, even at adult level. Now, the amount of players that come in GA terms to play adult football that don't have the basic skills, I'm not going to say mastered, nobody masters them, but they mightn't be able to kick with their left foot, with their right foot. They mightn't be able to hand pass with their left hand. All these kind of things. What happens then is guys come in and start packing out defences to try and cover up the cracks rather than saying, right, no, let's go and maybe work on the basic skills. We might get a baiting, but he's getting a few bobs off. He doesn't get results, he's out the gap. Yeah. And all this money comes in for one team, lads, in a lot of clubs. And the underage, in many respects, is neglected. Like, if you were to invest some of that into underage, what club would you have in 10 or 20 years' time if you're prepared to play the long game? Yeah. Like,
well, it gives you the chance to get to your goal, which is your goal is try and win an All-Ireland club. Well, if you're neglecting the juveniles, it's such a hard jump from juvenile to senior straight away with. Do you know what I mean? It's if you do it right underage, it'll come eventually. Your pattern will
exactly. The goal probably varies as well, though, right? Because you could be in a club that's been barren for 40 years, you know, and their goal could be maybe to stay senior. Yeah. You know, that could be their goal. Like.
Look, Palatine are a very good example. It's who you need volunteers, right? But it's who you get involved.
Paddy's doing the Macarena, I would say.
Yeah. Pom-poms there. Yeah. But like, I'm led to believe, and Paddy know more about this now off air than I will, but getting the senior club players involved with the underage sides to do that now, and that's a big undertaking when you're training your few nights a week as well. Like, but that means an awful lot. I suppose it means an awful lot more than maybe your ordinary Joe Soap going to take the 14s. You listen to him because he's playing senior football. He's the lad I'm going into Dr. Cullen to look at. And you need that. But you need everyone, lads. But it's not just about coaching either.
It's a different view, Kevin, from a player's point of view.
Yeah.
If you have, like, say, for example, Aero, Benny Kavanagh was one of the most consistent footballers over the last 15 years, county level, that they've ever seen. Super. If you have him going back into an Aero under 10 or 12, where he doesn't have any kids, no bias, he's no favouritism, he's going in. They're like, Mammy, Benny Kavanagh's training me today. Rather than just say,
the words carry more weight.
Podge Doyle, ultra qualified coach.
Yeah.
Podge never played the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You could say the very same thing, but it means more coming from them. Yeah.
Honest to God, no matter what you could write that down in the book. Benny read that and Podge read that.
Yeah.
What Benny says, Del.
Don't like they were using Podges.
No, but I mean, like, do you know what I mean? But that's what it is, though.
If you just take that New Oak Pats game, and I appreciate they're the two top teams in the league at the minute, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's a few more in the mix might have a say
No,
about
but
too, but they are.
that's it,
It's looking like it's going to be toe-to-toe the whole way, isn't it? Like, you look at what they're doing and what a GA team is doing, and from what I can see, they're not any less fit anyway. They're not any less physical.
Yeah. But the difference, as I mentioned, the difference is, I know I can only speak about St. Pat's. St. Pat's are player focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know? The kid under 8's kicking the ball is just as important as Callum putting them in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's player focused. Now, there is a side where it's monetary driven because you need money, but there's a committee for that. And they'd never step on your toes or get in your way. But I feel in a GAS or any talk about Palatine, they're almost separated from everyone, and it's their own community. And I think that's their success. I think that's what they drive that so much from within, and they drive it so well, it naturally developed things.
Yeah.
And they're probably very player focused. And I think that's the trick that a lot of GA clubs are missing. They're very concerned about getting the gym, getting the best manager, getting the stand. What are you neglecting, lads? The players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And they've been rewarded this year. They've the best year ever, I think.
They
won everything the whole way up, didn't they?
It was unbelievable.
Juveniles.
Clean, clean sweep. Lost the senior final after replay.
They won under 20s as well.
They did. Yeah.
I firmly believe that's because they are player focused.
And it didn't happen overnight, lads.
100%.
It was a decision made.
They should have won the first game in the county final.
Yeah.
They let Rathvilly off the hook.
Yeah. Look at.
They should have, yeah.
If you're prepared to play the long game or even the medium term game, like there you go. The proof is in the pudding. Like.
Talk to me about the academy structure, so calls and things like that. What's that like currently?
Yeah, so like that's, I suppose, a lot of people listening and watching this podcast and know the Carlow Coles is the underage county sides, I suppose, 14s up to 16s, and like again, you talk about the number of games, but they're kind of going all year round. They'll take over. They'll do their gym session maybe once a week, I think, and maybe a pitch session, and then when games start coming into play or coming up, whatever, they might go a second night kind of a thing. But what struck me, I suppose, is the amount of games and how spread out they are. You might have a game in April and May, and then there could be 6-week gap, and there could be a gap between the game in April and May as well, a sizable one. Now, look, we have to consider there's exams here as well when it comes to June time or whatever. That you know, you've lads doing junior certs and whatnot. But again, that's a problem. Now, it's probably, I'm not going to say it's not as much of a problem, but those guys are playing with their clubs too, right? And maybe they're playing with their school and they're playing this, that and the other. You could have a lot of those that could be out several nights a week for what it is. So while it's not ideal, it is extremely hard to do everything. But like, my own view on it is that there should be an encouragement anyway where possible to facilitate a situation where they can do as much as they can until an age where they have to make a decision. And this will bring us into another point later, won't it? But you can't force the hand that young, I think.
No, you have to.
That's just my own view.
I'm a firm believer. Play as many sports as you can when you're a young lad. Like you said, there will come a time where you will actually be better at one sport than another. And you'll say, I want to treat this one a little bit more than this one, but I'll help out my club when I can.
That's exactly
But being an academy director in the soccer for so long with the man that can mention most times with the stacker and all, but he won't come on.
He's a myth, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like
working, what? Oh, thanks, Manuel. I wouldn't say it. I forgot the point I was going to make, Papa. Fuck me, you're around us every week, man.
What about the academy?
Right.
Dacker and
I know from a little bit of correspondence I had with the guy that was over the GA, the Colts, like, they're under the impression that they're the only show in town. Like, and they don't want lads playing other sports. And that's the kind of vibe I got. Now, thankfully, from our side of our development and the structure we had, we'd no fear of losing them to, say, Laois or Carlow, because they were always going to come because we were on a crest of a wave. But I think that the arrogance, I don't know if arrogance is the right word, I think that their application to them squads has to change if they want them to develop, because they're trying to pigeonhole young lads at such a young age. I think it's going to hurt them.
I don't know. Now, look, just disclaimer, right? To get an insight into what the Colts is actually like, I did make a few calls before I came on just to have an understanding of it, because just truthfully I wouldn't. It's a while since I was a Colt, and we weren't a shower of Colts at the time. We were a shower. Someone say someone still are a shower.
Started to see this, but it's not a Colt.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. But that's not today or yesterday, since we were one of them. So
it's next Tuesday.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I can't comment on that, Podge. Truthfully, I haven't had dealings to know what the situation is or isn't in that regard that you spoke of. You've had the experience, like you're coaching soccer, the guys are the same age, you're going to have communication with the crowd over the Colts or involved with the Colts, whatever the case may be. What I can say, I suppose, is that last year's Carlow minor football manager Mick Keogh, a regular guest of ours, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I know full well that as much as possible there was a facilitation process there with anyone that was on his county minor football panel, that he allowed them or tried to facilitate them in the best of his ability to play other sports. Now, when the important time came around for Carlow minor football, I suppose you'd be expecting that maybe the other codes would respect that then.
Absolutely.
It's communication. That's what it is. And, if there was, I don't know if there was or wasn't arrogance. That's your experience. I don't know. I can't comment on that. That's your view or whatever. But if there was, like, I mean, that's serving no purpose to anyone if that is the case.
No,
but with proper communication, these guys can be facilitated.
100%, and we sat down together.
That's the key word, Kevin, communication. If there's no communication.
I remember we went to Dr. Cullen Park. We sat down together. And my argument was that your best players are our best players.
Just a few years ago, by the way.
Over a few years ago.
Oh yeah, I might have an idea what you.
More than a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I felt the conversation went well, and we came out with an understanding, and we were preparing for a Kennedy Cup, and we had a squad kind of primed, and we're going really strong, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
boom.
Well, that's not miscommunication. That's a lack of respect.
But this is what I'm saying.
Can I ask a question? Is that person still involved? Just out of interest, without naming names.
In soccer or GA?
No, in Carlow GA. The person that do communication.
No idea.
With. Yeah.
No idea.
Was it just coaching, or was there another element to the job that person was doing?
There was
another element to the job. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not surprised.
No. Fair enough.
Look, I mean, the reality of it is that for years, and let's be honest about it, there has been an arrogance, and this is where the tide is turning, and GA is at crisis point, and the biggest test is going to be the calendar thing. I know we're coming to that, right? I don't want to be jumping the whole time.
All right.
But people are now calling the bluff. Like, I am more than familiar with the term, this lad, can I curse? Fucked off to play soccer.
Yeah.
Which, not something that's like, why would you use that term? Like,
them terms are gone, though.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that they are. It's a good thing that they are, and players have to be given credit for that, because they just went and called bluffs.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. Like, I mean, there's no sport holier than Dow, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the GA had that arrogance. Probably still a bit of it there, lads. It's not fully gone, like. But I think they're now seeing the difference when it comes to summertime. The numbers in the field are, in some cases, not what they were. Lads are saying, I'm going to go on that J1. Years ago, they didn't go on the J1.
No.
They didn't go on holiday.
COVID is responsible for this too. And maybe it's no harm. Maybe it's no harm where lads are like, no, there's more to life than this. There is much more to life than this.
But if you removed that arrogance and worked in a more collaborative space, you would find that your development would be far more beneficial down the line.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Instead of forcing your arrogant
can't
view.
see that picture up, Podge, can they?
No, but I think as we move on to the calendar soccer question,
I
think they're going to have the lads. Yeah, no, we'll get there in about an hour.
Yeah.
Participation and popularity. Talk to me. Give me a percentage. What do you think?
Yeah, look at
the Saturday night example. 300 down at Ballymurphy versus. No, I was told this. If it's a lie, I'm telling you, it's a lie, I'm told.
We were playing Ballymurphy. It was 120 people at the game, just on the one sideline, because two dugouts are on the one. But the final 300 is brilliant.
Under 20s hurling final, Christmas week before Christmas.
Week before Christmas, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't in that now, but
was there 60 in Dr. Cullen Park?
Look at truthfully, I don't know. I really don't know. I wouldn't think there was 300 though.
Yeah.
And look at that particular grade that's come up an awful lot on the Left Wing Back podcast. It's a problematic grade and it shouldn't be. It's a transition grade.
All right,
It's
okay,
very important.
I didn't realise that.
It's a very important grade. It's the timing of when that's played is very dubious, I suppose, or very controversial. There was a time where that was played during the summer, and okay, it might mean that some guys might have been playing 3 games a week, but sure, isn't there better than 3 training sessions? Like, you know,
games. What's your best training session?
Yeah.
A game.
Yeah.
You can train till the cows come home.
I know there's burnout and lads will argue that, and I'm not trying to be disingenuous towards guys, but I'd say if you ask them, do you want to play an extra game during the summer or do you want to be playing the week before Christmas?
Yeah.
In the slots.
During the summer,
You know, such an important one. But to answer your question, truthfully, I don't know what the attendance is or was, and I suppose maybe it's twofold. Like, I mean, you talk about attendance and participation at adult level and underage. Like, I mean, you go to Go games or anything like that, sure, all the parents are there. There's massive crowds of underage games. I wouldn't have figures for you on what they are, but like, it's very difficult to go into Dr. Cullen or wherever the matches are going to be every week as well on the pocket. If you're going in there and you're paying for a couple, even at club level, like, I'm not criticising them for this now either. I genuinely am not. But that's difficult. Like, it's not easy.
Well, sure, 2 adults and 2 or 3 cups of tea and drink for the kids and a bag of tail. You're talking 40, 50 quid there.
Exactly. Like, the leagues kick
You know
off.
what I mean? It's a fair lot, let's be honest about it.
Like, it's
You go-
50 quid for 3 cups
Yeah,
of
but
tea.
you go, no, but I mean the entrance fee in.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
you know what I mean?
Sorry,
And
sorry, yeah.
Like, you go, like, if you want to go and look at Pats and you walk, which is a fantastic game of soccer.
There's some crowd out
No
as well.
charge in, €3 for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, whatever you
Yeah.
want, and a bar of chocolate. And
Yeah, well, that's it.
kids
like,
on
I mean,
the same thing, kids on the field half time kicking around the ball.
I think it's in a position, and this is probably going to be very controversial.
Yes,
But I think
love controversy.
I think the popularity, I think soccer shedding it at the minute.
Yeah.
I think participation, I think split right down the middle. And I don't think that's controversial because I know for a fact lads are going to be roaring at this Podge, you fat bastard, GA never want to beat the soccer. But I genuinely think that if the GA don't take the finger out, they're going to be in bother.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's that tipping point or crisis point or whatever you want to call it. I didn't answer that part of it with the popularity. I'd say the GA's popularity probably has gone down an awful lot. It'll always have its, like, there's a huge interest saying this weekend in the rules being changed. We're not talking about Carlo per se, right? But yeah, like, I mean,
7 rules, isn't it, Kevin? Yeah.
Yeah, and God knows what way the whole thing is going to go.
Talk me through them, Kevin.
I'm not going through all 7. Jesus, I didn't know all that homework. It's hard. Like, the whole thing. There's a presentation doing the rounds that FRC did. The rules committee. It's a half an hour long. I don't have the attention span for it.
I read the document that was sent out there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like, when you see it in the flesh, you'll know fairly quickly. You'll cop on.
I think that should have been, and this is just my mind, my coaching mind. That should have been presented as a demonstration to people, to clubs.
Yeah. Look,
Do you understand me? So a demonstration of this is when you can do this is when you can't do this is for this change, this for this changes. Just 45 minutes little demonstration session. Go around the counties, go around the clubs. Brilliant.
Well, something had to change, boys, because it was gone terrible to look at. I know I gave up with looking at soccer earlier on the telly.
Yeah.
But it was gone
I'd
dreadful.
rather look at soccer now being like Carroll League. Like, I love Liverpool, alright, but I watch them, but some days you just turn them off.
They did have to change. And look, the GA is not unique in this. Like, soccer changed their rules, like back pass.
Yeah.
Offside has changed many times. Say, for example, there's probably a heap of others that I'm not thinking of. But, like, you know, you do adapt.
Subs, you're only allowed 3, you're allowed 5 now.
Correct, yeah.
Gets more players involved.
Don't like that either myself. I'd rather it was 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
But hard up, Kevin, when you have a squad of 20 lads there.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it.
Do
Yeah.
you know, like...
Yeah.
But that's
Like,
the progression.
what's the rule in Gaelic? Is there 7 subs or something? Is it?
No, there's 5 standard. You can make your. I think is it 6 now, actually.
And you have a blood one as well.
5
isn't
or
it?
6. Yeah, you make your blood subs or whatever, and which is an awful lot. But
Concussion as well, is
You're
it?
caught with this thing of talking about 24 or 26, and this is where there was an issue about lads been playing with their clubs. Like, there was lads not in the 26 last year, not released to play in their club. Play for the club. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Serious problem.
That player is suffering. There's coming back not fit to the club.
And
like.
you know the worst thing about
No.
Kevin? You're the neutral standing in the total. You're that club man, supporting that man,
Yeah.
playing with his club. You know he's not going to get any game time with the county unless they're losing by 20 or up by 20.
But he's not going to go in the following year either, is he? If he's sitting there.
That's
and
and that's the truth.
You know what I mean? Like,
And there's no disrespect for him. He's in there, he breaks his ball, is going up and down that
He
field.
does the same training,
2 or
doesn't
3,
he?
every single week, doesn't miss a thing, he eats the same thing, does everything that the really, really good players are do. But quality wise, he just doesn't have it. But he's happy to be in the squad. And then the club is losing out on him, where he could really be beneficial to the club. And he's not getting any game time with the county.
Does an ego
And what's your
thing-
best training session? A fucking game.
Yeah.
Does an ego thing slip in there for the player
From
on county?
Because he's in the county.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like some lads is, yeah.
maybe, yeah. But I still guarantee you talk to that particular player and he'll want to be playing. If he's not getting a game in there, if he can't even bloody tug out.
But if you gave him a dilemma to say, yeah, you can play, but you can't go back to county, what would you think he'd do?
I suppose it depends on the individual, doesn't it?
Well,
but
we could have a day in Crow Park here.
But that's why lads drop off. Like
That's isn't it? Yeah.
that's why lads drop off. But
Well, look, the reason I kind of wanted you on and wanted the conversation, first of all, I do listen to the podcast. I think the podcast is brilliant. My favourite episode is the Simon Ray episode, and that's gone back a long time, right?
yeah, we kicked off. 5 years ago nearly.
That's you know, I thought it was an excellent episode.
Yeah.
But I've listened to the Bernard Muller one, I've listened to Lauren, I've listened to loads, and I think they're really, really good. And I think you're highlighting a lot of things as well. Something similar to ourselves probably, but you obviously have a history working in broadcasting and radio and things like that. And me and Papa are a history of spoofers, right? That's
Papa's got a broadcasting history as well there.
He does,
yeah.
Couple of games.
We interviewed him a few times.
That's it. Yeah.
must be quite short.
They're looking for good lads, Podge.
But I wanted to say, like, we have 3 lads playing with us in St. Pat's that decided not to go play county football. You have 1.
Yeah. 2, yeah.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, there must be a space where they're like, lads, we can't be affording not to have these lads in playing county football. Why? I couldn't believe it when them lads said, no, I'm not going back. What is the story?
Well, sure, it's what they have to give for what they're getting back, I suppose. And look, I don't mean that from a results point of view, but it comes down to the load on the body and like the load on the mind. I mean, it's a professional commitment you are making for no monetary gain.
And you're not getting paid for.
And
not getting paid enough.
Yeah, and a little side point on, that's why guys are now crippled at 33 and 34.
Yeah.
We're getting to 40 one time. You look at most inter-county players when they're retiring, with the exception of a small few.
Mark Timmins.
Yeah, freak of nature.
39 still going.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
30,
Ross
yeah.
Munley was the same, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a couple of years ago, whatever. But it's now about 32 or 33. And what does that tell you? I mean, like, you look at, say, international rugby, and lads say, it's not the same. Just, boy, it's not too dissimilar in terms of what they have to give.
No.
But they're getting well paid for it. So if they're broke up afterwards, then they're well compensated for it, and they'll do their coaching, they might stay in the
They
game.
have the
whatever.
time for recovery
But-
as well, Kevin, right?
Exactly. But
'Cause they're
take some of
professional.
those guys you mentioned. What do they have when they're finished up? And furthermore, they're not in Dublin. They're not in Kerry. They're not in, like, Kilkenny hurling circles. They have nothing on their fat arse to fall back on when they're finished up. So you'd say to yourself, well, will I go run around and make bits of myself 5 nights a week? Or do you know what? I could train a couple of nights and I could play soccer at what is, to me, it looked a very good level anyway. And if it's Oscar Trainers, that's inter-county, isn't it? Well, what's the difference? Like, I mean, that's the commitment you have to give and what you get out of it, the enjoyment you get, the amount of games. Why wouldn't you? I don't blame those guys at all. And actually, I'd say one of the guys that is playing with Pats is one of the lads that gave the 2 fingers last year when he was asked not to play for his club, or he was told not to play for his club. He went and played for his club.
Yeah.
And I kind of admire that, being honest.
I love it.
On Oscar Trainers, I forgot to mention the Oscar Trainer result the other night. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
No, we're not talking about
Oh, all right, fair enough.
I know we will.
But I think
That's my view on why that's the case, Podge, you know?
So my view on it is, I think that when lads are going into these setups now in junior soccer, it's only junior soccer by name now. So what I mean by that is, like, the coaches are proper, facilities are proper, it's player focused, the sessions are decent, and lads are kind of like, whoa, this is good.
But you can see how close they're
You know.
getting, Kevin, as well. When you see that New York team 2 years ago who won the league, they had a League of Ireland team down in an actual competition.
Yeah.
They had Brave Wonders down in New York playing a game, and I'm going, that's a League of Ireland team.
Yeah.
That's how close they are to getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
That's it.
it's very achievable for, when you see one club doing that, it's very achievable for everyone else to do it too.
Yeah.
You see that happening quite regularly even in
That's
GA
like,
circles.
that's like Rathvilly have to win the championship and have to go on 2 rounds in the Leinster. All of a sudden, now you're playing Dublin footballers, a club team against a club. You know,
Two of the most enjoyable days, I had in broadcasting was Thomastown had Shamrock Rovers down.
Bet them 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commentate on that. That was great crack. And then the following week, I think it was, or the week after, they went up to Oriel Park to play Dundalk. Like.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And Dundalk had big hitters out. Like O'Donnell was playing in the middle, Gannon was playing, Kenny was over him at the time.
Yeah.
Senior Cup sure would have been there pre-season, would have been the deep of it, yeah.
But like the lift and the buzz that gave to the area at the time,
unbelievable.
and it's more than achievable.
Yeah.
Like it might have, I'm sure maybe that seemed like a far-fetched dream possibly at one particular time, the Carlow soccer people, did it?
Yeah.
To be playing like
Well,
them.
you wouldn't think about it.
Now look out.
And you go and look at that game. And
Yeah.
like, Bray were obviously the better team and they were going to win the game, but
Yeah.
people are saying, how tight can you walk? Can you walk at the first goal? Does
Oh,
it
yeah.
change everything?
Yeah.
But that game, I remember everything that came out of the game was Keane Dowling played left full and he never gave the winger for Bray Wonders a kick at the ball. He was outstanding on that day. Like, and your man never went by him once.
Yeah.
Dickie, as they call him, Keane, got the better of him. He was up and down the line 3 and 4 times. It was a fantastic performance from a chap who's playing junior soccer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Against a professional athlete. If you want
That's
to
what I'm
say.
saying, Pop. It's only junior by
You know
name
what I mean?
now.
It's only junior by name.
You drool over them games, the thoughts of getting
Oh.
to play
Yeah.
them. Like, but like the respect that the big teams, like I don't know who Bray did or didn't have. I wouldn't be familiar on the big names now. But Gary Shaw was playing for Rovers. Now it was probably more of a second string Rovers than it was a second string Dundalk in terms of big hitters. But there was a
Yeah.
bit of respect
But you're
given to it.
playing the name, though. lad.
You're playing the name.
You're playing the name.
I'm not taking away from Thomastown with
Yeah.
that either, but it's actually the respect that the League of Ireland clubs say were given
Yeah.
the Thomastowns
Yeah.
or the Hanovers or whoever the case may be, or
Yeah.
the Newarks, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that the landscape is changed in that regard. And if you have a Josh Moore or a Brandon Kelly or an Adam McCarron or whoever, and they have the opportunity that's within their grasp, that's something to aim for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can still enjoy the crack in the process.
The only
know.
downfall from a soccer standpoint on that is that there's probably not a proper pyramid structure in place. Right, so you take that Newark team, right? Unbelievably successful, and I've said this many times, and they're the best junior soccer team I've ever seen play in Carlow.
They're fantastic.
In
yeah.
my mind, right? There's no doubt about it. They have no next step on all the outside competitions and have the Leinster Junior Cup and if you win the league, go to Leinster Senior Cup. But the FAI should have a pyramid in place where they're going into like a Southeast Super League or a Leinster Senior League and then progressing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See how far they can go. Do you know, say after 7 tiers away from the First Division League of Ireland. Well, you should be. I think that'll drive on the soccer then again
And if
even
you
more.
play games at that standard every week, Podge, if you're not going to be 7 tiers away from the top, are you?
Like if
You're going to close that gap massively.
Yeah, but if you look at the FA, the English FA, I don't know if you follow Dorking, no? Mark, what's his name as the manager? He took them from a Sunday League side. They're 1 division away from League 2. I think he had like 10 promotions in 11 seasons or 12 seasons. No, he's a mental patient. He's a lunatic. But Dorking Wanderers are called. But he took them the whole way. Do you know what I mean? And they would have been similar to like, their winning their leagues, but they had somewhere to go. And I think that's where the junior soccer lose out. Because there's nowhere for them to go. Now, an individual might want to go to the next step, go up, try Leinster Senior, go League of Ireland or whatever. But as a team, as a club.
But that's on the club, Podge.
Exactly.
That's on the players to have a meeting beforehand and go, lads, we're going to be travelling every second weekend, 60 mile or so to a game.
Yeah, but this is.
There's nothing from the hierarchy said to say,
Yeah.
that's a fantastic team. Can we help them out here?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know?
We I think there should be a proper structure in place, and I think that's where the GAA will always trump soccer.
Yeah.
Is in the actual structure. So you have your club team. It's in a parish. It's parochial. They get to a county final. They win a county final. They have a couple of games all of a sudden in Leinster, and this through all levels: intermediate, junior, senior. Do you know what I mean? And it can have their day out under All Ireland, whatever.
Yeah.
And you look at the ladies, Bannockherry ladies. It's not that far away for us. You know,
No,
in the '90s, Blues won the Leinster.
Yeah.
All that crack. Like Carlow soccer clubs will never have that day because they can only go as far as Carlow. Or I know Crittiyard got bet in the Leinster final and Newark got bet in the semi-final. But even at that, it's not as prestigious as your day out in Croke Park for your All Ireland final.
Well, even take look, you're talking about a club now versus a county team. But when was the Oscar Traynor final ever played in the Viva?
Well, I brought it up 2 weeks ago, Kevin, when Kenny boys were on it.
Never.
That's an A final.
Yeah.
And it was in Dermot, but you commentated on that.
Correct. Yeah,
That was
Mullen
in-
on one side and Billy Welsh on the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that should be. That's much more
But
worried than.
there wasn't enough of it, Kevin. Like, I'm looking
No.
at, and I have a lot of friends play Gaelic football.
Yeah.
I have no disrespect to anybody who plays Gaelic football. But there's 2 pages on the Nationals this week of player profiles for lads going into Carlow County footballers. And I'm going, there wasn't a page until we won it.
Yeah.
It was like a little headline, Carlow reached Oscar Traynor final. And
Yeah.
a small little paragraph in the corner. And I'm going,
Well, the
off.
one for me was when Newark 35s won the Leinster.
yeah,
There wasn't as much the postage stamp in the Nationals.
no.
Now, I don't think that's the GAA's fault either, though. Like, they're trying to sell papers.
No, it's not. It's the FEI's fault, Podge. I said it. If Newark were playing North End in the morning or someone like that, in an FAI Junior Cup final, it's in the Aviva or Shamrock Rovers pitch or something like that.
Yeah.
And then going, this is a county match. Like, where does the best two teams in the county or the All-Ireland final be? Croke Park all the time.
Yeah.
Where was Carlow versus Kilkenny in an Oscar Traynor final?
Durham,
In an outside pitch of a graveyard. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no soccer anymore. It's an outside pitch.
Yeah.
And Kilkenny weren't happy with it either, make no mistake.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
And it shouldn't have been there. It should have been taken out beforehand.
In around that particular time, I don't know the exact time frame, but Evergreen played Sheriff. Was it a Leinster Junior final? Or is it
It was
FAI Junior? It was in the Aviva.
That was in the Aviva.
Yeah, it was in the Aviva.
Was that Sheriff? Was that Sheriff?
Yeah,
that bet
Sheriff
them?
bet him. I think could have bet him 3 or 4.
No,
nil.
Sheriff won it. Yeah.
Sheriff
They
were
went-
serious now, man. John Rock and Murphy right back.
Leicester.
Leicester was in the middle of the field.
Yeah, serious side.
Could
like.
be a guest.
But yeah, like I mean, there's an example. I think it's much more
that's-
worthy of a bigger profile.
Without being disrespectful, that's a club game
Yeah,
in the Aviva. So we're the next tier. So if they're all were playing Nafina, or wherever, is that the name of Nafina?
yeah.
One
In
hurling
a,
there, yeah.
it's in the Croke Park. That's
Yeah.
club. So that was the same respect as the soccer.
Well-
but the county for the soccer was in.
But do you know where soccer get this so right? And I'm sure you've heard me say this on the Left Wing Back podcast as well, Podge. But the fines that are in place for soccer clubs if you do not put the report into the paper,
Yeah.
that is so important.
Yeah.
A little bit of time I spent playing soccer underage,
Yeah.
you'd be like the mother going by the paper. I wonder did they get the name of this week. I wasn't in it
Yeah.
every week. I'd say,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Massive.
like
Yeah.
you know, it's
Massive.
like it's such an important thing, and I think the GAA fall down a little bit there. It's nearly taken for granted actually that we're going to get this coverage. Might do it at a level, but all the way up along underage that's so important.
Yeah.
Soccer of that spot on.
Yeah, but we're
Spot on.
probably lucky, Kevin, that we're going away from print news, right?
Yeah, things are going digital.
Like I go by the Ashes now for me ma every Tuesday. Just 17 Ashes there to be sold. I go by the Ashes when I was 13 years of age to get. There'd be 5 left
You might get a copy of
after
it,
dinner of a Wednesday.
Yeah,
Do you know?
lucky to get
So
it,
I think we're probably in a lucky space or a lucky period of time where it's so easy to advertise and push and report. Like I look at St. Felix, their first team won there the weekend, the Bet Mill. The report was excellent
Brilliant, yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was really said, this is brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
so every clubs are kind of taking that. You know, so the print they're if the print don't open up and share, they're going to suffer.
Yeah, but also what you said there is very important in terms of clubs running the socials and putting the reports up.
Yeah.
But that has to be amalgamated and put in one place.
100%.
Whether that's the How Is He website, if you're going that route.
James,
right?
write it down, James.
Yeah.
Pen and paper, get it down.
But if you are like that, let that be say your digital. I know Nationals have their digital,
Yeah.
but let's just say like
Your
you know,
classifieds.
But my own
absolutely.
club man is the club the match reports. Tom
Yeah.
Begley for the Premier.
There you go.
And if your match report is not in by 5 o'clock on a Sunday, there's a message sent him. It's not in. It's a fine,
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah,
And,
and
but then
encourages-
you're like young lads only coming into the team.
Well,
Maybe name the paper
it's to promote your club.
Yeah, yeah,
and your
absolutely, yeah,
players.
it's brilliant,
And
it's brilliant.
and like I mean, that's where the GA do slip. No, like, and there's only a small few people covering it in Carlow GA. That is like you can't be everywhere. The games are on at the same time. You get someone to compile that, get it together, put it in one place. There you go.
We're lucky as well, though, that we have Harry.
Harry, I'm telling you,
Like,
he has put in terms of print anyway, and I'm not privy to any journalists before him, so pardon my ignorance if I'm insulting anyone. But I think he's changed the game in terms of what goes
100%.
into the paper for Carlow soccer.
100%.
He
No,
loves it,
I'm
lives
not
for it.
saying I agree with what he puts on it 9 times out of 10.
No, but sure, look
but
at it.
he's a voice
It's been
and he's
talked
there
about.
and he's been the spark.
Yeah.
If you've been honest.
And
His
you know, he
podcast is a spark for our podcast.
He does, yeah. Hello,
It's been
But he does, like even on Saturday, he was best looking your game on Saturday. I can't get at the Oscar Traynor game last week.
Yeah.
I can't get out to it. He said, I'm not going to it. He said, I'm going to
yeah,
the plate final.
Yeah.
Like he respects every game.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not just,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm going to a Premier game.
He varies.
If there's no Premier game on, he's not sitting at home. He's up watching a game in around the town.
Of some
Yeah.
you know,
description,
which is,
like,
yeah.
He
which is
puts
very
in
good.
serious miles,
Yeah.
serious time.
Yeah.
Like, and he does unbelievable promotion of soccer in Carlow. He really does. Like, he really, really does.
Yeah, and dips in and does not GA match as well when
He does.
things are quiet or whatever, you know. And
Yeah.
like, it's
Does he
lads
do
like
that, yeah?
Yeah,
He
he
does
does.
cricket and
Yeah,
everything.
he'd actually
I know
done
he does cricket,
he
yeah.
done was the 16s or minor
Wrestling.
finals for us last year. Like,
He
you
does
know.
wrestling.
Does he?
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jenny Mac.
Harry the Macho Man.
Future trends.
Yeah.
So we're having this conversation 5 years down the line. It's 2030. Where do you think we are?
Right, where's the GA in 2030?
Yeah. You think about where the soccer is, Pop.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I tell you what, right? If you go from a senior county point of view, this is really interesting. You've asked this question now. The few boys that would contribute, say, to our podcast, right? We have a little WhatsApp group going, and I asked the question over Christmas: will the GAA be professional at senior county level in 5 to 10 years? And that's what I asked. Like, now, mixed views on it. Some said yes, some said no. But I mean, if we're not going to look at the senior inter-county scene and say that, well, look at it's professional and all about name, we're kind of cutting ourselves here. Where will it actually be? Well, it really depends on how much auditing is done of the books as well, if I'm being honest with you.
Correct, yeah.
Because if that starts weeding out the rot, well, fair enough. But if people do things by the book and they become sole traders or freelancers, these coaches, whatever you want to call them, and they have to pay their stamp and show X, Y, and Z, that has a big bearing on it. If clubs don't start investing in their underage, there's going to be serious trouble. Now, I suppose you have to factor in the calendar stuff here. That's going to have an effect on what may or may not happen in GA circles. I don't believe it will be the only show in town that it thinks it is still, even though it's not. I know that and you know that, right? I think it'll always be popular. I don't think it will decline. There'll always be that interest there. But how will it look? What will it look like? Who knows? Like, but there's so many things that need to be worked on. There's so many good things it offers too. Like, there is an awful lot of, like, you know, it's cliched and all that, but it does add an awful lot in terms of, God forbid, if something bad happened and a club goes on and wins something. I mean, it nearly gives a little bit of whatever to someone who may be suffering. Like, that's how much it does mean to people.
Yeah.
And that won't change. Like, that'll always be there, in my view. And that's what does kind of make it special. As much as I give out about it, I'd find it hard to...
Yeah, no, I get you. I hear you. Tell me, go back to the professional side of the house, because I'm interested in that. Is there a need? Not from an organisation perspective, from a player focus perspective, from a fan perspective. Is there a need to drive that?
I'd say, I don't know if there's a need to drive that, but there's a need to realise that it's not amateur at a certain level. Like, it really isn't.
Like, who does the amateurism suit?
Who does the amateurism suit?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, possibly. Well, I mean, there's paid staff in Croke Park too at the end of the day. Like, it is a business, even though they say it's amateur as an organisation, and that's not
a business.
It's a business.
You're
like,
handing out
I mean?
money like that to clubs and counties.
Yeah,
millions.
Yeah.
Surely they should look at it, because I think it should be professional at county level.
There's an apartheid in the GA. That's my view on it. There's
love that word, apartheid.
But there is, like,
right.
at the very top, there's a cohort that are like, in terms of management and intercounty and all, it's a different world. But that infiltrates the club scene, and that's where it becomes unsustainable. You don't have the resources, you don't have the numbers to be able to match what they're doing, and that's where something, I don't know what that change looks like. I don't have the answer, but not feasible the way it's going at the minute. My view.
It's very hard to make a small county like Carlow, even professional.
Ah, yeah. I don't think the club scene.
No.
I don't think the club scene would go professional, lads. I don't know from that point of view. It would be inter-county more so.
What's the time scale on an inter-county? From when you start training to your first match if you get beat? So you lose your first game, you're into a round robin, is it?
Yeah, well...
And then you lose the second game, you're out.
Are you talking about championship now or, say, league?
Championship.
Well, like, that's what they've done. I mean, it's kind of a difficult one to explain, but, like, Division 3 and 4... everyone plays the provincial championship, right? But if you're a Division 3 or 4 side and you lose, if you don't make the provincial final, you don't stay in the Sam Maguire. You go into this Talton Cup, like.
Yeah.
Right, now if you win Division 3, I think you still do get into this the Sam Maguire.
But that Talton Cup is a big advantage. Like, not an advantage, it's better for smaller counties who are having a hope of winning the Sam Maguire.
It's achievable. There's a more of a chance of Carlow winning something by that being there. It probably needs a third one, to be honest with you.
It probably does,
16, I think so. Yeah. There's a huge gap between the top 3 or 4 in the Talton Cup. Maybe, yeah.
But
I'd say top 3 or 4.
Even a team that finishes might not win Division 3, but certainly second or third or first in Division 3 to a team that's 4th or 5th or 6th in Division 4. That's some gap.
And look, it has happened where the apple cart has been upset, right? But now it's set up in such a way that, like the time Carlow beat Kildare, right? Go back to 2018. Now, if they didn't beat Laois, say...
Horse Lawler, wasn't it what they called?
Yeah, correct.
Well, Palman...
Yeah.
Tired now as well.
Well, he did only...
Works the Bank of Ireland.
Yeah.
I know.
But just say, for example, fast forward, and that's 2025, not 2018. Carlow have gone and beaten Kildare. Right, right, they lose to Laois in the semi-final, right, they're gone out of Sam Maguire in the Talent Cup. So
Yeah.
the only way Carlow would stay competing at Sam Maguire level is if they got to the provincial final after beating Kildare. But Kildare would still stay.
Yeah.
The whole thing is.
But I think the professionalism, it's not only from money or a salary place, it's professionalism in the structure. So if you're going professional, you have to change the structure. So you're talking about a 3-tiered structure now, where you have the top 10 teams, the second 10, and then the remainder, which it would be 12 ideally, right? 32 counties. And then based on where you are is based on your funds. So it's kind of like the rugby system then, right? So where the GAA run everything from money and they dish it out. So the higher you are up, the more you're going to get. So that changes a lot.
Yeah.
That changes a hell of a lot for the GAA if that's the case.
Yeah, but numbers and the I suppose the capability of a Carlow or a Laois to try and take in what Dublin are taking in. Like it does come down to population that as well. But the books that you see going around of this is what Dublin spent on teams, that's
garbage.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, that'd be my own view. That there's a lot more to it, and like I wouldn't think Limerick's one is entirely accurate either. It's just my own view. Sorry, now just putting it out there on record. There's a certain individual down there that I'd say that might be looking after him.
There's a lot. There's a better chance of getting a local businessman with more money.
Absolutely.
In Dublin than
You tell me about the future trends in soccer 5 years'
I
time.
just think it's going to be mayhem, Podge. Like the traffic on the Chinese roundabout.
in a good way, like, or
I just think it's going to be absolutely nuts.
It
I think the crossover is going to be.
Lads, there's your clip, James. Traffic on a Chinese roundabout.
I was just thinking the way the calendar year is going to go.
Yeah.
The best players play soccer. Is your best soccer player your best Gaelic player? More than likely they are. Unless you get lads just dedicated to one, which is there is a few in both.
Yeah.
But I think the calendar soccer is just, I think it's going to be mayhem when it comes to a certain time of the year. Like the calendar year into soccer is going to be April to September, October. The county finals are now in around September, October. How do you make a lad semi-final of a Carlow Cup where you're playing St. Pat's, Franover Arps in a neutral venue and he's playing the semi-final of a championship? We're playing Friday night and they're playing Sunday. They're telling him not to play the soccer on a Friday. I'm telling him play the soccer, you can play the Gaelic on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I think the lack of respect comes, and I see it many times, Kevin, where I'm always ultra respectful to the lads I have. My soccer club.
Sorry, so do you think there's going to be a regression then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably for both as well, Popa.
Yeah, it's going to be, and the hardest thing is going to be on Kevin. It's not on the coach from either team. It's going to be on the player because they're the one playing the game.
Yeah, they have to make the choice.
They're playing the game.
He touched on something important there, which is if it was April to September. If I could give any message to anyone involved in Carlow soccer, it would be go a bit earlier, lads.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, there's only a handful, really, if you think about it, of guys playing with the county. Now, they're great soccer players too, don't get me wrong. But there's a fair lot more club players that are going to fall into that Venn diagram. So if you're wise, you'd probably be looking at, I know January and can be shite where we are. I've seen that last few weeks.
But Kevin,
if you run that off January to, what's the month you said? 5 months, was it?
You're saying 6
months.
weeks training plan, like he said earlier on.
Yeah.
That's what you normally do in the soccer season.
Yeah.
You go back and you do, your first game might be the last weekend in August or the third weekend in August, and you're like, let's do the whole second week in July or the first week in July, and you're doing 2 or 3 sets. You get 2 or 3 friendlies in.
Gives us 5 weeks.
6 weeks. So if you go, what's the first thing you do after Christmas? I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to training, I'm going to walk on the roads of it. Start fucking training in January.
Yeah.
And play the first league game in start of March or late February.
Yeah.
Weather's not too bad. You get away with games, especially AstroTurf games.
Yeah.
And start it earlier and aim to finish it in August, where the championship is not really at you in Carlow.
Yeah, that'd be
and make it better. Make it feasible for both teams. Because I don't want to be asking to go on.
I just think they have to condense it, though, Pop. I think they have to condense it. Something what you're saying.
Well, look,
I just think they have to.
Podge, to borrow a very unpopular term from COVID, in order to stay together, we must stay apart. Yeah. And by doing that, I'd play the soccer whatever it is, just say soccer, whatever way around. One from January onwards and the other one the other way.
Gotcha.
I don't think the GA would ever move anyway.
No,
it might be a little bit more legal because the soccer is already in that space where games are played during January. Does that make more sense? I don't know. But if it did go back to Jan Feb, you're cutting out the amount of people in that Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So stay apart and everyone will have everyone.
Yeah.
But there's massive clashes in it, Kevin, where like I keep coming back to my club because I say my club because I have a lot of Gaelic players in my club. You know that, and I do.
You have an awful lot. Right? On both teams in Hanover.
And I respect the Gaelic football. Don't get me wrong. And anybody thinks I don't, they don't know me. I actually do. But like I made a comment a few weeks ago that 2 lads took over a local club in the town and I heard they don't like soccer. That was the information I was told, and I said it in this, and I got a phone call the next day. Yeah, but we've sorted out the differences. That was it. That's all part of it. That's what you speak in these things for. But I don't know. It's I think there's a lack of respect from the Gaelic to the soccer rather than the soccer to the Gaelic. That's what I think.
Is it arrogance? Is it arrogance?
There's a certain level of arrogance.
You're never going to affect us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you've ever said to anyone, he effed off to play GA or
never
football
in my life. I never ever once ask a Gaelic player when it's Gaelic season.
Yeah.
We're back training. There is lads in my club that just play soccer. There's a lot of lads play both. I'll never ever ask members of my club, you got to be training. No. If you're training with your Gaelic, you're getting fit. We have our friendlies with the soccer as it benefits them more. Rather than they come back in then, Popa need a week off. And that's all they do, the Gaelic players, and they come back in straight away. But when I see Gaelic clubs around the town, when it's in the off season of the Gaelic and when they go back training and they're putting sessions on the Sunday morning, that's a lack of respect to soccer. Now it's different now because there's games Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when it was Sunday only, what are you putting on a Sunday morning for?
Yeah.
Put on Sunday afternoon. If the player is okay, let him do that then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just don't be clashing. Don't give it a chance to do it. Have a little respect here. Like we're voluntary as well. We're training as hard as you train, and our goal is to win our competition in our sport. Like your competition in your sport. So have a little respect both ways. That's what I think.
I actually think that like the league might just distance themselves from the FEI and just keep running it as it is.
Is there rumblings or murmurings of a meeting, perhaps? You know more about that than I do, but I did hear a little whisper. Might be a meeting, I'd say, about possibility of that or what the feeling of the clubs is.
I genuinely didn't hear anything. No, I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's no harm if call the bluff on it.
Well, every club in Carlow, Kevin, voted no to calendar soccer.
Do you know what's not?
And it was taken out of their hands.
Yeah.
And the worst thing it was taken out of their hands because clubs who already are playing calendar soccer had a vote. They shouldn't have been allowed to vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect them. Ask the people to vote who's affecting. You're asking to change.
DDSL had one vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of players they have or
sake.
participation level.
That's crazy. But
and
that's where the FAI
did some have a couple of votes, carry a couple?
Yeah, we had two. Carlow two.
And why, out of interest, would the DDSL only have one and Carlow have two? Just for example.
Well, Carlow in a position because Noel Jordan is the president of is he president of Leinster Council?
He's top man in it, isn't he? Yeah.
And then Brian obviously is on he's a delegate.
On the committee, right?
He's on the committee, so he gets a vote as well. But that's the only reason we had to.
Right, okay. Yeah.
But you look at, surely it should be based on participation. No, they could have voted some soccer anyway. I don't know what way they voted, but there's tens of thousands of kids playing soccer in DDSL. Do you know what I mean? And they get one vote. It's nuts.
It didn't make sense now.
No, the voting system made no sense whatsoever. If you look at a map of Ireland and the different district leagues, the majority of them didn't want calendar soccer. When it goes to vote, you have to add in the League of Ireland clubs. You add in the clubs that, as you said,
who are already.
Well, they're not going to go again, are they?
Or the leagues, I suppose, that are already,
Yeah.
So they're just.
It's like having a 100-metre race and you're starting 40 metres on the lane, I'm starting 100 metres.
Yeah, it makes no
difference. Catch you.
It made no difference at all.
It's never going to happen.
So on that vote, moving on to it, how does it affect the GAA, do you think, calendar soccer?
It has huge effects on both soccer and GAA, in my opinion. And you've kind of touched on it. It's effectively what kind of concerns me most is that what does of a Saturday morning soccer is it under 8s or under 6s? Is that where it starts these days?
Under 6s is little kickers,
right? And there's blitzes or whatever, right? And sure, in the GAA we know there's goal games, right? And I think they're also a Saturday at some point was there, right? Now if they're on at the same time, you're asking someone to make a call already, aren't you? I don't think that's the case at the minute. I think they do avoid each other. If I'm on the money with that one, happy to be created on it, no problem. But you are effectively asking someone at that age to make a choice. And in actual fact, you're probably asking the parent to make the choice for them. And it might be on their own personal preference. Is that a problem, do you think? I think it's a huge problem. I think it is. I'm lucky enough in the last 10 months, little Keane is at home there, right? Changed my life massively. And I'd always stand by whatever he chooses, as long as it's not rugby.
yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, if he wants to go and play whatever he wants to play, that's fine. Okay, off with it, and I'll accept that, and that's okay. But I'd hate for the opportunity to be taken away from him. That's just my own personal thing going on. But that's affecting every family in Carlow. by doing that. But speaking of rugby, that's actually not talked about half enough. Them boys are home licking their lips, because if this goes
100%.
through, they are the only code that has that, like, okay, right, there's probably other sports that people play, but these are the ones that kind of tend to clash.
Yeah.
Your soccer, your GA, your rugby. Their season is still as per,
Yeah.
similar to the soccer one. They have a clean run at it for a hip.
Oh,
They'll be
they're-
at full strength for every game.
Yeah,
Their
they're that.
participation's going to go through the roof.
So the meme of your man behind the tree and he
Yeah,
licking his lips like that. That's what they are.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. yeah. Happy out. And they're not making much noise either. They don't need to.
No,
They're
they
like,
don't have to.
They're not,
Yeah,
they're
they're in
not
the background,
boys.
yeah.
happy out.
They're not boys.
And I'm not throwing digs in or whatever, but like, you're literally putting it on a plate there. You're making decisions for lads there too, aren't you? Like, I mean, maybe you're making an easier decision for someone that maybe is playing soccer and just rugby, because that's a possibility. It's not all GA versus the other two.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a winner. That's just my own view
There won't be.
on the clash.
And
Now,
you know what is, Kevin? When it starts out first, I won't really bother, because it's only league games in Gaelic. I don't mind missing that to play. You're four games in to go in a league campaign with Hanover or Pats or New York, wherever it is. But when it comes to the crunch games at the end of the season, like the way the league is going there now at the moment, having Dowling and Badgers over the two teams are at the top in the Carroll League. They're playing each other in the last game of the season in August or September, right? And even the first round of a championship game, and you have the Rathvilly boys, the Airog lads, the Blues lads, whoever their respective clubs are, don't play that fucking soccer match. We first round of the championship. We have to win this game. And the first round of the group game could be Airog versus Rathvilly, or Pal versus Airog or Rathvilly. That's a big game. How do they tell? Like, it comes back to this, like I said, it comes back to the player. And it's very
Yeah, but
hard.
from a soccer perspective, though, Papa, sorry to cut across you, but from a soccer perspective there, you're talking about the last game, you're talking about the pinnacle in that
because it won't
league.
affect really
If
until
it
it
is
comes to
them
the end of the
So,
calendar.
Yeah, but anyone that's after going on that journey to get to that last game with a chance to win your league, you're never going to play the guy.
yeah,
Podge, you
well,
want to be training with both things.
I
you want to see a
I'd
player
love to hear
going-
Josh Moore's perspective on that, out of
Yeah.
curiosity,
Yeah.
just to see what he would say. Now, there was a time where I would think, look, we're happy to be corrected, but I would say lads might play the Gaelic football match, even if it was a league decider. I'm not so sure they would now.
No.
I think there's and I think maybe perhaps that a lot of GA managers would have a bit more of an understanding and respect
Yeah.
for that too. But you want to avoid the situation. Now, I'm curious, because I know you have a different view perhaps on the whole thing maybe clashing, and Badger made some good points on as well. Like, but, like, do you see positives in it then as well?
Yeah, and it's probably coming from a selfish space. I think that, say if I talk about my own club again, because I can only talk about them, they'll have no problem. They'll have no problem with calendar soccer. It might dilute them a little bit, but with the facilities, with the way I know players are treated, with
Catchment, maybe?
yeah, with the coaches. But say for instance, you take say St. Felix, who are an excellent side, up and coming side, and I look at their team. There's a lot of them really good GA players.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them senior footballers. I don't know. I don't know if they'll have. I don't know if they'll have the same confidence that I'd have, right? But I also would have empathy to clubs like a Ballymurphy,
Yeah,
a
that's
Vale
who really
Wanderers.
suffers. There are other clubs suffer,
Yeah,
lads.
they're
a
massively.
Slaney,
Yeah.
like a Hanover, even. Do you know, to name a few, like they're going to suffer.
Yeah.
So I would have empathy towards that situation and towards what they're going to go through. But like we said that in that podcast with Badger, have a couple of years to sort this out, lads.
Yeah.
You know, get your shit in line here. Do you know what I mean?
We're going to have a lot of coaches though, Kevin, at the end of a season, whether it's Gaelic or soccer, are going, if we had them for that Gaelic match, remember the two soccer games he played instead of the Gaelic?
Yeah.
We would have won.
Yeah.
Do you remember the two Gaelic matches he played instead of the soccer? We would have won.
But that's a forever argument, Popa.
That's, yeah.
You
But
know.
no, but it's not at the moment, Podge.
No, but it will
But
be
it
a
will be
forever
then.
argument.
Yeah, it will
come-
be then.
come that time.
Well, what you'll want is to minimise the capability of that happening, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Like, you want to reduce the scope you have of that happening.
Remove the
And
risk
if,
from it happening.
If it's April to September, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I suppose when I talk about that, I talk about like Gaelic football. But there are lads playing hurling to play soccer too, don't forget. Like, I
There is,
suppose, take Bagnestown the other day, or Danny Doyle plays a bit of hurling.
Yeah.
Keane Doyle play
Keane,
county
yeah.
hurling. Like, Kane plays hurling. So it's not just Gaelic football either versus soccer. There probably is,
Yeah.
like, there's less hurlers, I'd say, affected by it.
Yeah.
But, do you know, reduce the risk of that happening and give yourself the best possible opportunity that everyone has everyone.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
communicate
Yeah.
with the two codes. This is a very important game. So Popa rings, I don't know, whoever it is, in any of the clubs, whoever's
Yeah.
over them, and says, oh, this is really important to us. to have an understanding, so that when the other call is made the other way, right, that's fair enough. No, I get that.
I respect their decision then, yeah.
Now, it seems very simple. I know it's not always that simple, but it should be a lot simpler than what lads make it.
Yeah, but it's that whole thing where a simple thing, makes a big complication. And I think the bottom line is, and Badger said it, I'll go back, clubs have time.
Yeah.
Get your structure in place. I use Hanover as the example. Probably, at the minute, the biggest juvenile club in Carlow. Would that be an accurate statement?
It would be, yeah.
Like, they're not all going to play county. They're not all going to play club GA at the top level. Like, you have an opportunity to progress and develop a massive pool of these players. So that when it does come, okay, we've lost 20. Yeah, but what about the 40 we have over here? They'll fill the gap. It might, the whole thing, my big fear is this. It might dilute the league. Because we're in a really good place now in relation to quality, as you just mentioned, walking Pat's game. Pat's getting better the weekend by bagging his tone. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're in a really good place for quality competition, style, systems, etc., etc., etc. That might dilute.
Yeah.
That might dilute.
I thought Badger's point was interesting, Podge, in relation to, and it's something one of our contributors has said before, about incorporating the new Irish, for want of a better way of putting it, into the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easier transition. I would agree with what you said, and I'm paraphrasing now, an easier transition into soccer for a lot of immigrants than it is into Gaelic.
Yeah.
Now, do the Gaelic or the GA do enough to try and incorporate? That's another question, probably a separate point. But it's certainly an easier transition into soccer when it's a global sport, right? I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So for that reason, if you do that and do it, put a good bit of thought behind it, you'll survive and you'll do all right, won't you? And a lot of immigrants are coming into the urban areas too, don't forget.
Yeah.
Now, it won't solve the problem on Ballymurphy probably, or it won't solve it wherever else, but it's a huge factor down the road. When you talk about 5 to 10 years, what does the future look like?
Yeah, but then
Something
again,
has to be tapped into,
I know people, Ballymurphy playing it. I'd see Ballymurphy's a big club. They're 25 years on the go. Like, that's a big club in my eyes. So maybe they might turn a corner where they're like, let's take this approach here.
I remember them winning Division 1 Youth Podge back, could be 2012. Now, it was effectively the Carlow Minor hurling team.
Good side, yeah.
And I think Jack Cavan, the Carlow Senior hurler, was over them as well.
Yeah.
They were a serious side.
Yeah, good side, yeah.
So there's your example. Now, I don't know if their current squad of players are, if there's many Jewel in it. I don't know whether a first team or second team is like that. But sure, that's it though. And I know what they're choosing down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not soccer. If there is a cohort, any of those guys, anyway.
Yeah, but
it's the area, isn't it though?
Yeah.
That's their bread and butter down
But
there.
they're just an example. I look at Burn Celtic, and we had Johnny in here last week. Their facility would match any club in the country.
Oh, I was up there Saturday night. It's fantastic.
In the country. And as would Collections, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Any club in the country
brilliant.
would match their facility. So, is that a draw? Can that keep players there? Like, to have a gym, to have a fully functioning gym that's open to the public? I think time is on our side. Like, this is going to be a great conversation in 4 years' time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll definitely be cancelled by then, though, right?
Will I?
We'll be cancelled.
Two Johnnies will be cancelled.
We'll split up. There'll be an awkward
You split with your wife. We're not splitting up.
Wow. She doesn't listen.
Sorry, Nick.
You know what my wife just don't know?
What?
She's
Making
on
pizza
Carlow Radio. She got a job on Carlow Radio.
She didn't.
Nick, I won't name her DJ name, but she's doing the Power Hour or Power 2 Hours
Power
on
Balance?
Carlow Radio.
No, what? I'm
She
going to
is,
listen
yeah.
to it.
Yeah, she's on now. Honestly. Yeah, there's a shout out for you, Nick.
Get on the phone there.
It's a great debate that can go on forever.
Yeah.
I think it's become more mature now.
Yeah.
I think the days of old lads in flat caps in the pub saying what are you playing that for on sport for are behind us. Not that long ago, but they are. I think they are gone
for
behind
the most
us.
part, anyway. Yeah.
I think personally in this county, I think we're on par, if not shedding things.
You see a lot of lads now in the Gaelic off season coming looking at soccer games in Carlow,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
the more popular thing every single week.
Yeah.
It's
I think we've won this one, Kevin, and that's the fact because you're on our podcast. And we have
Megas and yours, Kevin, one
Well,
off.
happy to admit defeat, no problem. Yeah. And by all means, we'll definitely have his on there at some point. That's when
we'd like to go on.
we figure out what we're doing ourselves to do. But, it'll be looking a good bit different, I think, from our end this year. So we might be going back to basics. Like, as you say, we started with Simon Ray and one-off interviews. I'd say for the most part, you're getting exclusive here now because socials and all are gone dead for the last month. I actually deleted Twitter, Instagram and Facebook off my phone back in November because the
Just
time I spent on them was scandalous. So the only time I was using them was on the laptop for the podcast itself when I was putting it out or a news article. That was it. Get off it. Just absolutely blackened me. Like too much time scrolling, mindless.
Tell me
kind of
this
stuff.
now. I went through that right about 3 years before COVID. I gave up social media. No, it was like giving up heroin, man.
Oh, you're a heroin.
It was.
You're a
It
TikTok
was.
now, aren't you?
It was. I'm on TikTok now. Oh man.
Seen doing the hula
man.
hula now in a few minutes.
I'm
lads.
like one of the lads, Madam and Paul, so I am over TikTok. No, but it's once you get over the 2 or 3 weeks, the fair cleanse, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Now it's difficult for the
ridiculous, isn't
first
it?
few weeks.
It's
like,
tough.
yeah, it is. Like, and just that the habit of picking up the phone.
Yeah.
Now it's like someone.
But it is just a stupid habit, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Oh,
wrong.
it is. It
Like,
is.
you
Like,
could be looking at anything on the television that goes to an advert. Oh, make it the phone.
yeah,
I
For
tell you
3
where,
minutes, you're like that.
yeah.
where my mind is, right? I had my phone in my hand the other day, on my left hand, and I was looking for my phone. Where's my phone? Like, where's my phone gone, lads? Do you see my phone? What you do with it?
That was the burner phone you're looking for.
Yeah. But you know, but it's there. The point is, it's there.
Yeah.
It's 24/7. And I'm going back on the socials because of this now.
Yeah.
And I'm nearly there again where I was when I left them.
Yeah.
They're
No, it sucks you in. But like for anyone out there, I think it's important to emphasise this: that the undertaking of running a digital platform is inhumane.
yeah.
Now, like you, I've a day job as well, and it's a serious undertaking. I suppose we're lucky enough, like yourselves, to have Curra Sports and many other great local businesses on board, but they're suffering badly. They're crippled, and they're the ones that's giving it to you. They don't have it really at the back of it. Like, I mean, let's be honest about it. How many national and multinational companies are in Carlow, and how much are they giving back to like what we do? That's not being bitter now.
No.
You wouldn't even know who half of these guys are. You can't find a name or a number. So, look,
Yeah.
I think the future from our perspective, and I'm sorry now but
You're all right, go
I
on.
have the platforms, I'm going to use
Go
it
for
if
it.
that's all right,
Yeah.
is to taper back. And that's what we have to do. And
Yeah.
from a time perspective, it's the most undervalued thing in life, lads. Definitely, I don't
Just
have
want
time
to-
to
just
put
want
what
to tell
I used
you,
to put in. You know what I mean?
Kev, we have a facility here, Amplified. That's absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure they would take you on board in a second.
Aye, we'll see. Is Don King out there? Is he? Or
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn? Is
He's
it?
out there. He's out
Don
there writing
Carroll,
a contract there. So he's, Papa, we're at that time.
Just before Podge, you went to that, have a little show.
Folks,
The Paul Farrell
Oh,
Memorial
yes.
Golf Classic. It's on, I think it's Saturday the 4th of February. It's the first Saturday in February.
9 hole pop.
9 hole.
Yeah.
It's the last year of it. It's the 10-year anniversary. It's the last year of it, I believe. I shared it on my Facebook page. It's €80 for a team of 4. €100
Are you playing
sponsor
in it?
hall. I am playing it, yeah.
Are we putting in a Hosey podcast team?
Yeah, we will be putting a Hosey podcast. James is going to play. He doesn't know it yet.
Am I
But
playing?
he's
Am I
playing,
on the, did I make the team?
You can mark the scorecard. I know, you can. You get Paddy out as well.
4 of us
Yeah,
go.
4 of us will go.
What day is it?
Saturday the 4th, 9 holes, and it's just, we'll pay for it.
Of February?
Yeah.
Saturday's not a 4, Papa.
Whatever day it is. It's that first Saturday in February, anyway. Whatever that day is. But Blackie Brannigan is Blackie Brannigan, Shea Farrell, they're the people who's running it to do a fantastic job every year. And it comes back to Paul was a great friend of mine in school, played soccer with Hanover Harps.
That's
Unfortunately,
the first pop, is
first
it?
is it? They passed away, unfortunately, and we want to see a family come together out there that day. All the Farrells and the Rays.
My aunt as well.
They run the day, and there's a social aspect that night with finger food and
He's a
presentation of
very
prizes.
good soccer player as
Very
well.
good, yeah.
As well, I'd take a
Yeah.
free kick. I played with Pat Spee many years ago.
He's down at Carpenter's that night. So look, if you want, it's on my Facebook page. You can contact the numbers on that, and we'll go from there. But we're going to put a team anyway.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I in? Yeah.
You're in, yeah.
Brilliant.
We're not going to win now, but you're in.
Speaking of winning,
Time for
Podge.
Look, is this the gospel, Podge, by the way? Can you read out the score, please, if you don't mind?
A reading from
Sorry,
in front of me.
No, read it out as it is.
no, I got it wrong.
Okay.
You're not. Speaking of winning and winners,
I caught
Podge
you-
40, Papa 36. Podge versus Papa.
Did I not catch you by more than that?
No, you didn't. No, you got 3 points, Papa, and I got 1.
Is that what it was?
Move on with your
Only
life.
again, only again too. Don't worry.
Well, Shane there can verify, but I'm nearly sure it's 30,
You're falling like a
36,
cheap suit
40.
on laundry there, so
I'm 4 ahead of you, man.
Yeah,
have a
you
slow-
were 6.
Will you slow down? I was 6, yeah. Anyway, fuck's sake.
Go ahead.
I'm burnt out, lads. I'm giving this up. I know what you feel like, to be honest with you, Kevin. I'm taking a jack and I didn't know, to be honest with you.
For me?
Yeah, only joking. Creative versus collection. Hit me. Oh, I'm first, am I, this week?
You're first.
I think Creative are going to beat them 2-1. Papa.
3-1. Decree.
Kevin, you're in on this as well.
Am I?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're going to do a guest table.
I like the Desmond term, guys. I
Brilliant.
was dying to use it. We'll go for Desmond.
It was a great one.
Yeah, Collection going well. I think they'll put up, but I think that's a massive win for Crittayard the weekend, and Salter and Mar up top, I think, is a different dynamic.
4 goals again, ain't they?
Yeah. Vale versus Byrne, must win for both. The former club Vale. Vale have the win. Did they beat
Byrne
them?
have the
Did
win.
they beat them out? Vale had the win as well.
Byrne beat them, did it?
No, Vale bet them.
In
It was
Byrne?
Billy's last game, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was
I'm going to go Vale 3, Byrne Celtic 2.
3-1 to
2
Vale.
to Vale. Kevin, your home club.
Yeah, I'd have to go
Yes,
with
to back
Vale.
to Vale.
2-1 I'll go with.
Did you play when I was out there, no?
No, Jesus, no. I played a bit underage. We won under 16 cup actually. We bet Collection in the final.
Who's manager? Paddy Lillis.
Aye, yeah.
of
I
course,
think
the
it was. And then China Ellard as well. Remember China Ellard?
Yeah.
Jesus, it was some crack. It was unreal.
Club out there, man. I love my time out there, to be honest with you.
Very quick story. Like, I have to tell this story. It's hilarious. A chap by the name of Huey Gann. I don't know if you know him.
know him well, yeah.
But yeah. Right.
Gas man.
Came down to play. I'm convinced, I'm fairly certain it was his only game with Vale, underage soccer ever, right? I think it was under 15 or 16. And you remember the way the Super Bowl used to be? The container over in the corner,
Yeah.
and sure, look, it's called a Super Bowl for a reason. It emerged that Huey had no shin pads, and over beside the container was a cardboard box, and he tore the 2 sides out of it down the socks, played the game, scored 2 goals, and I don't think he ever played a game of soccer again.
Well, lethal.
That's a fact. Might have played with Village at a level for a game or 2.
Go away.
Unreal. That's my memories of Vale. I played 1 game for Nerney when I was 11, playing under 12. Was pawing it at half time. Take tip off. The ball was rolled to me. Put the studs in the ball. Fell back in my arse. Was back off 15 minutes later. I don't think I played a game again. Yeah, no,
That's your career, Kev.
That's my career, lads.
Brilliant. Derby game, Popa. Kilree, Bagnallstown. That's a big win for Bagnallstown the weekend gone. Kilree need to win. I'm going to go, I think Kilree score. I'm going to go 3-1 Bagnallstown. Derby game, massive game. I don't think it'll be a 3-1 match.
2-0 to Bagnallstown.
I don't think what's the score? 3-1. I don't think it'll be 3-1 game though. Well, it is actually because it's 3-1. 2-0 Bagnallstown. Kevin.
I got 2-1 again, Bagnallstown.
Down your neck of the woods as well.
Not far away at all.
Brilliant. Podge versus Popa done. Popa, let's talk about the Oscar game.
Yeah.
What happened?
Just didn't come out of the blocks, Podge. Warm up was good. Did the board. Everything was good. Everything felt great. Named the team. Everybody knew their jobs. And just didn't start the game. They scored after about 3 minutes from a corner.
Set piece.
Corner, yeah.
Did
Man
a couple
ran.
of two set pieces did they score from the penalty?
Penalty was the last game was over then.
Yeah.
They scored. It was the second phase of a set piece. It was the second goal just before half time. We only had 1 chance really in the first half. Their goalie had nothing to do. Kilkenny deserved to win the game. Jamie Marr got in, and I said it to him at half time. He should have kept going. And he stopped and sort of cut back and checked his run. But he should have kept going because he's not overly fast, but he's super strong.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Very hard to get around.
And he would have held off the defender, and he had to trust himself to go and get the shot away at least. If it went in, it went in. And then we scored a goal which I thought was harshly disallowed, but the assistant actually flagged. The referee didn't give it.
Okay.
He said it was Carlos was on the left hand side and he tucked in his right and he crossed it in as one of them cross come shots.
Yeah.
And the linesman said that Niels came in and interfered with the passage of ball. He never touched it, and when the ball hit the ground, Niels said his run stopped. So I don't think the referee didn't disallow it. The linesman flagged.
Oh, sure.
And it would have been 2-1. It might have been a different game, but we didn't deserve to win the game.
Davey got under heads
here,
didn't he? Davey got under heads telling him that we robbed him the last time down here.
Well, look, I heard there was some lad mouthing of him walking on the pitch saying that, I didn't hear this now, that we were told to listen to the podcast, we were told Kilkenny was shy.
Yeah.
I don't know what podcast he was listening to. We never said Kilkenny was shy.
Yeah.
So he can
we
go
said
on
we missed about 15 chances that night. Here's a question for you. Can they beat Wexford?
Can they beat Wexford? Yeah, Delaney would be back in, won't he? He was missing there that night. They're good. They played really well against us. They were I think more. It was nearly the same outfit, but they were more physical and.
They were at it.
Yeah, they were at it. Yeah,
And
it's hard to write off that Wexford team. Not even write them off, but it'll be good. It's in Pats, right? Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Wednesday night.
Is it tomorrow night?
I think it's in Pats tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oh, I might tip down to that.
They can certainly get results. Yeah, I think they can. Yeah. It won't be like they were well in the game down in Wexford until the man got sent off.
I think Kilkenny beat them.
Yeah, I think Kilkenny have a good chance. Yeah,
I really do.
This is the first game. Wexford played 5 games last year in the Oscar Trainer. 5 of them were in Wexford.
Go away.
They played 4 this year, and this is the first one that's outside Wexford.
Go away.
Which is a great decision because I think I did notice after the game, we presumed that the final, whoever won the game last week, was playing Wexford in the final in Ferry Carrick. But if we had beat Kilkenny, we were playing Wexford in Kilkenny. But because Kilkenny beat us, they're playing Wexford in Carlow. Which a final should be in a neutral venue, like the section final anyway.
Only right, isn't it?
And then they want to the next level after that and see where it goes. But Kilkenny can certainly get results, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if it's on tomorrow, you might go down to it.
Yeah.
Fixtures pop. Friday 24th of January, Collection B versus Joseph's B. That's in Division 3. Pats versus Crittayard and the ladies. They're Friday night. Going into the Saturday, the Youths League, Joseph's A, FX, Collection versus Bagnallstown A, and Crittayard versus Burn Celtic. In Division 2, Bagnallstown B versus Noak, Parkville versus St. Pat's, and Ballymurphy versus Vale Wanderers. FEI Youths Tulla in Clare. That was the game was supposed to be on the week of the snow, right?
Yeah, Hanover lost home advantage to travel to Clare now.
Yeah, I see that. 2
But,
o'clock. Are they doing an overnight?
No, they're travelling the bus.
How far is Tulla away, Pop?
2.5 hours, I think, or something like that, yeah.
Is it? It's a spin. In the girls 18s leagues, Phoenix versus Nerney and Vale Wanderers versus Ballymurphy. Here's the main event.
One of them.
The main event, Saturday night.
The main event is Saturday. There's another main event Sunday.
St. Pat's versus Blackford.
Black
The
Forge,
rumours are McGregor is tugging out. He played the last 2 games for them.
He played. He didn't kick any ball. He kicked players. He didn't kick any fucking ball. I've seen the videos of him.
Draw code if he's down on
scissors
Yeah, he
kicks
will
and
draw
fucking
crowd.
everything he
Yeah.
was.
I don't mean it's the main event. Look, it's a free shot for us, isn't it? Last 32 with Leinster and they're playing the outside competitions after Christmas is brilliant.
I believe they've a couple of Queen's chaps are playing.
Yeah, we're 46 years of age.
Yeah, but they're try and play against them, Podge.
You know, they're a good side, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be a good side. I think they'll give them a game, though, right?
It'll be, yeah. Pats?
Yeah.
Fancy Pats to beat them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might love a Popa.
Oh, well, sure, I looked at a couple of the videos and
Yeah, I know.
McGregor was in that with that team. He can't even run now. Go away with him.
He's like a baddie from a zombie film running, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
As if this lad's going to cry.
He's like he's running at a hinge.
Yeah.
Like a 45-degree hinge
Terrible.
level. Going to box the face off me Saturday, isn't he? How are you? Well, he's bigger problems now anyway. He's over there at Trump's inauguration and all that crack, so I don't know if you're back for it, but...
Flying back in for the Pats game, is he?
Yeah, could be, yeah. Well, he won't be getting an English flight ranting like that. Say he's something chartered. Division 2, Phoenix B versus Parkville B. That's on a Saturday. Big one then Sunday morning, Popa. This is the main event, to be honest with you. Noak versus Wexford Boys. Noak will definitely be out for a bit of retribution there, right?
That's the replay of the semi-final last year, is it?
I hope Noak beat him 6-0.
Yeah, we'll see.
you.
There's the same. Now, Noak will have the different players. They won't have Lee Walker, obviously, but they'll have Dotsy and Skinner
Yeah.
back in, who were missing the game last
Chris
year.
Blake in there now.
Chris
See?
Blake is in there now, yeah. You'd fancy Noak, but Wexford turned them over last year.
Just for Noak, Popa, as a club, and the way they got stung there last year, I'd love to see them beat Wexford Boys.
Absolutely. I'd love to see I'm Hanover man to the bone, but of course the outside competitions, if Hanover's not in it, I'd be down there. If Noak were in the final, I'd be the first one up supporting them. Or Pats or whoever the hell it is. Doesn't bother me. They're representing Carlos out here, so
It's great attitude to have.
Yeah.
It's great attitude to have in the public, but in private it's completely different.
it is not.
Am I joking? Then moving on to the league, as you mentioned, Crittayard versus Clash and Vale versus Burn Celtic, Kilree versus Bagnallstown on Sunday. Division 1, Ballymurphy A versus Mill Celtic, Slaney versus Phoenix, and Dolman versus Pats B. Phoenix and Dolman battling out on that, right? Tell you what we're going to do, Pop, in a couple of
players, though, them 3 boys, like the best, Joe Dorn, Keelan Lacey.
Yeah.
And I think the Spanish guy, I don't know about the Spanish guy, but he got sent off.
Yeah. I think
time wasting.
I think we'll do an old preview episode next week or the week after, I think, just to see where we are in the leagues and all that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because we kind of neglect them a little bit. In the Division 2, Castle Rangers versus Dolman, Crittayard versus Ballinglass. Ballinglass had that wrapped up, right? Fairly sure they do. I think they have it wrapped up. Wolfhill, Division 3, Wolfhill, Nerney, Ballymurphy B versus Hanover B, Bagnallstown B versus Burn Celtic B. And in the Ladies Junior Cup, New Park versus St. Pat's YC. Mill Celtic versus Nerney in the Ladies League. And Ballymurphy versus Vale Wanderers. That's a mouthful. It's done now anyway. Kevin, thanks so much for coming on. We really genuinely appreciate it. You're a lot more, like, even listening to your voice, like you have a proper like
It's a microphone voice.
Yeah, it's a proper voice, isn't it?
Don't know about that.
He's trained.
Yeah, no, it's trained.
Yeah, it's like Andrew Bocelli in singing, isn't it?
It's like we're like 2 sheets of MDF and he's like real oak. You know, he's rounded off and sanded and all that. Me and you were like, do you know what I mean?
We're the legs of the table. He's the bed.
We're a kitchen in a council house.
More than galvanised and reefy there.
And he's a kitchen in a 3-bed dormer.
He's a jacuzzi.
Do you know what I mean?
Jesus,
but look, listen,
come on, it's good crack, lads.
yeah, it's great. It's great to
Listen
have you
every
on.
week,
And
so-
look, we'll definitely arrange something if you want to go your side, and we'll even
I know
take it back.
like.
Yeah,
I know
we'll-
like, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're even welcome back here. Absolutely. Badger Ben thinks he's going to be the first person to get a hat trick visiting this podcast. Okay, you might have something to do with that, Kevin.
Yeah.
I come on the same day and ask him, what's the crack? The white runners and the long black jacket. I was doing. I said, all he's short is a cigar by.
Yeah.
And maybe a hat and we
And
have
an
a del
entrance
by.
into St. Dimness.
Speaking
of
Roger, look.
we'll answer.
Is it me or
Patrick, how are you?
Oh yeah.
I'm just finishing up. I'll be down there in about 20 minutes. Getting warm there. Yeah, or less.
Right, okay, right. No, they're all here, they're warming up.
You're live in the podcast, by the way.
God bless everybody.
Good luck.
It's not unreal. You say his name.
Yeah, that's nuts. That is a Matrix moment.
Say
Isn't
Badger
it?
3 times and he'll ring you.
Yeah. Badger juice.
All he's missing is a little dog thought on him.
Unreal.
Do you want Pop?
No, look, I know Kevin a long time now, and in fairness, he texted me 3 or 4 times to say, well done on the podcast and
Yeah.
in
It's
previous
great though,
episodes,
lads.
and it's to people. There was someone who's doing it to get feedback to say we're doing a good job is
Means
very,
the world,
very
doesn't it?
appreciative. Yeah,
She's are honest and
Yeah.
there's enough
Yeah,
spoofers
what you see
and
is what you
lads
get here with the
full
two of
of
us.
whatever. So like there's a bit of authenticity is nice and
Yeah, I think
I enjoy it every week.
you
Lads,
know,
and,
as we say, I think we're so far down that road of being so unprofessional that it works.
yeah, could do. Yeah,
Do you know?
Yeah.
It's I think we're doing a homer. Is that what's called in The Simpsons? Is it? You do something.
You're
so,
doing the Ned
you do
Flanders,
something
that's what you're
bad. Yeah.
oakley dokley.
All right. Okay. Anyway, Ned Flanders, Dormer Bungalows, MDF. It's all happening here tonight. I tell you that. But a live phone call.
Yeah.
Fuck me, it's all
Cardboard
happening
boxes.
here tonight. And cardboard box.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Unreal.
Lads, look, that's it again for another episode. Once again, a massive thanks to the guys here at Amplify. Fantastic facility right in the heart of Carlow. If you're contemplating having the podcast, if you're contemplating doing something going down the avenue, get onto their socials, lads, contact them because they're brilliant, right? Thanks for the support for everyone. It's been excellent. The Buy Me a Coffee is still live, Pop. If you want to get on and support us, please do. Our next giveaway is going to be coming up soon. It's going to be for 20,000 lira. Someone's going to be. Am I joking? We're going to do something for a giveaway coming up soon.
Have to
We just have to sort it out. Yeah.
20 lira.
Yeah. But look,
You
lads.
get 20 fags for it.
20 Regal you wouldn't get for it. Lads, as always, it's not my podcast.
It's not my podcast.
It's your podcast. It's Carlow Soccer Podcast, lads. Good luck and God bless.
Well done. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kev. Thank you. Pleasure.
That's
really
full
enjoyed that.
time
That was great
on
crack.
this
Brilliant
episode
crack,
of the
yeah.
How Is He podcast. Available on all podcasting platforms. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X. Proudly sponsored by Curra Sports. For more information, contact Shane@currasports.com or check out their website, currasports.com.